TLDR I, F33, didn't tell my BF, M37, I was feeling sick, and he let himself in my place. TLDR I, F33, didn't tell my BF, M37, I was feeling sick, and he let himself in my place. I didn't tell him BC I was shamed for being sick in the past. It is hard for me to accept help. We've been together for 5 months. He felt I was acting suspicious and used the spare key. Found me home in my PJs. Not at work. And thought I was hiding an affair. He broke up with me. We made up, but I don't know how to feel about it. I want to be more open, but I feel being somewhat private shouldn't lead to being falsely accused. He says me hiding stuff makes him go insane. And he recognizes it is insane from his part. How do we stop the anxious avoidant tug of war? You stop the tug of war by ending the relationship. You are afraid to tell him you aren't feeling well. That is massive red flag. And then he basically stalks you. Get out now. Actually get out after getting your key back. His behavior is kind of scary. He let himself into your house because he doesn't trust you and was trying to catch you out. This is a massive red flag and not something that should be ignored. You solve the issue by dumping his ass. Is this the same guy who got mad and controlling when he found your Reddit account a few months ago? You're still together and he's showing this massive level of distrust? Please go back to your therapist and talk about this. You should not be dating anyone when you keep brushing past the red flags. You need to become happy and healthy on your own. And know about enforcing your boundaries and not being afraid to speak the truth. If you can't tell people you're sick, then you need to work past all that past trauma. Frankly, you need to be able to see an unhealthy relationship for what it is, instead of letting so many things slide. My advice is to break up. He let himself in without an invite at 5 months. You should have been able to tell him you weren't feeling well, and he should have turned up with chicken soup and knocked. End the relationship. I once dated a man who called me when I wasn't feeling well. I told him I was feeling ill and actually started dozing off on the phone. About 15 minutes later, he came over just to see if I was really sick. We broke up on the spot and I went to bed. I'd never given him a reason to mistrust me, and I wasn't going to be monitored like that. Why does someone you've been dating for 5 months have access to your home? Break up with this guy and change the locks. What is there to salvage? Massive red flag. Break up and go no contact. I canceled a date with a guy the first was dating for a few weeks because I wasn't feeling well. He apparently drove by my house and felt the hood of my car to see if it was warm from driving. Recently, it only got worse from there. Proceeded to send me the world's longest email detailing the holes in my story. Began stalking me, emailing my elderly parents. That was 17 years ago, and this creep still sends me a letter to my new address every time I move. Run. Whoa. 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 Okay, let me see if I understand correctly. You were feeling sick. You didn't tell him. Because you don't like asking for help or whatever. He immediately comes to your place without letting you know. He's immediately suspicious you're hiding an affair and he breaks up with you. That is not a sane person. To answer your question, you break up with him. That's how you stop this behavior. If he truly recognized he was acting insane, then he would be in therapy getting help with regulating his own emotions and expectations, instead of holding you responsible for them and trying to control your behavior. You're entering an abusive relationship with a controlling man. And I believe you're in danger of becoming a domestic abuse victim. Don't let him control you with his crippling insecurity. You're not doing anything wrong. This is not the anxious avoidant tug of war. I am saying this with love because I've done it too. But it looks, sounds like you're normalizing his abusive tendencies and creating false equivalency. This isn't an attachment style thing. Controlling and ignoring your boundaries isn't an attachment style. 5 months in and he treats you like garbage. Please get rid of this red flag parade. Change your locks and break up with him. This is such a violation of privacy. Just put an end to the relationship. You do not want a constantly suspicious man about. Not do you want one that just lets himself in. Change the locks. 5 months in and he let himself into your house to check you weren't cheating? Absolutely no. He can be insane by himself. He doesn't get to violate your privacy and boundaries because he's got some hang-ups about cheating. You do not need to earn his trust. He will never trust you because of his own problems. This is not the man for you. If this is him 5 months in, it will only get worse and more controlling from here. I think you should change your locks and break up. He sounds very dangerous. He does not sound like a safe person to be with. Sorry. You don't want help. You already had a post from 3 months ago and people advised you to break up. This post isn't any better. The advice will not be any different. But you don't want to hear it. My ex did this. I had gone straight home from work and right to sleep, only to be woken up by him bursting into my apartment. It was clear he was trying to catch me in something. He hadn't even tried to call. Just send a couple unanswered texts. I was so sick. I didn't even see how worrying this was. The delusions and projection never ended. I wish I'd broken up with him then. In future, don't let anyone know where your spare key is. For now, break up with him. He's not the one.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.